Okay, so let's start with the fact that you've bought a house in Lisbon, and I just want to go back for a bit and ask, when did your love affair with Portugal begin?
My love affair with Portugal began in recent years. Actually, we have friends, family friends that have been coming for a long time, but as a child we never came to visit. So as an adult I've experienced Portugal and Lisbon especially. The first time I came to Lisbon, it was very cold. It was raining.
What?
It was winter. It was winter. I came to house hunt,
Okay.
and
But the first time you came, you were already thinking about like having a house here?
yes, because I wanted to settle, have a home here.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
nice.
So the decision had been made, and we moved between. I'm European, you know. I'm called British, but I'm European. My life is European. I moved between Italy, Spain, Portugal, and all the other countries. And I have friends that live here,
Yeah.
and they really.
Made a good selling point for
Oh
the
yeah,
country.
they pitched Portugal as a country and Lisbon as a city so well. I wanted to come and see it for myself. I mean, the first time I did come, I wasn't a house hunter actually. It was just to come and visit and just to get a vibe for the city. And even though the weather wasn't very sunny, it you could tell that the city had a character. It has a character all of its own. Um, everybody's There's a lot of walking around. It's a very easy city to navigate. Actually, it's a very fun city to get lost in, which we do all the time. And I just like the independency of businesses here. It doesn't feel like there's chain coffee shops everywhere. It just feels like they really support small businesses. So when you walk around the streets, you still see a shop that is a haberdashery, and then a little, bespoke coffee shop and artisanal designers, and I love that. It's something that London struggles to keep hold of. As gentrification happens, you just see these small little businesses that have been there for a very long time, and new businesses trying to fit into that world. In London, we're losing it.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't see it so much.
In Lisbon, I think that we're at that limbo where we can almost like crash and do a lot of and also fall into that gentrification. But I think that maybe we're still in time to stop it.
I
Hopefully.
hope that they don't, because part of Lisbon's charm is the fact that it feels like everybody has a part of it.
Yeah,
It feels
yeah.
like there's a personality in every corner of
Yeah,
Lisbon.
yeah, yeah.
It doesn't feel formulaic.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel there's the lack of consistency is the thing that's attractive about Lisbon. I feel
Yeah.
small little restaurants. We went to a restaurant the other night, for example. I googled it. It's near our home, and we turned up, and it's literally like someone's living room. And the corridor to their house had little plastic chairs and seats, strip lighting, no candles, but the food was exceptional. It was a family-run business. You ate sardine season, and we ate 5 sardines each with potatoes and pastéis de bacalhau and a Sagres beer, and you couldn't have tasted anything more unique. And it was in this very small little place. And it's opposite something that's being built that is new, but there's room for everything.
Yeah.
And I just hope that Lisbon holds on to that,
You're
because
right.
that's what keeps it unique. As a city, it feels like it still
Yeah.
has
It
a
has-
personality that
it
it
has-
keeps it real.
Yeah, 2 things about that. When I have friends from abroad visiting, they always ask where's a good place to visit and to eat in, and I always say if it looks like really like a diner or a dive and it looks like kind of like not upscale at all,
Yeah.
usually the food is good. Like that's
Yeah.
why we have Tascas, and Tascas is like the main place to go. And I also say that one of the things which I think it's where you were going for. I also say that I think that one of the things that is Lisbon's biggest selling point. Its decadent charm, because you see the wrinkles of the city.
Yes.
And I hope that never changes. You know, that there's some sort of like aging of the city, so you can feel the history in its corners.
Yes, absolutely.
Your relationship to Portugal isn't just personal, it's also professional. And I wanted to speak about your brand BDXY, which is produced in Portugal. And I wanted to start by asking you to tell us a bit about the brand, how it started, the founders, you're not the only one, and its philosophy. And of course, how did you end up choosing Portugal to manufacture it?
Yeah, well, starting a brand is a terrifying thing in itself, you know, but when you create a brand, any kind of business, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And creating a fashion brand that we wanted to keep small, we wanted to make it as sustainable as we possibly could. We looked at other brands that made clothes like ours, of the quality we were making, and they were making them in Portugal. We were like, well, that's perfect, because we have a home here, we spend lots of time in Portugal. So myself, my partner Fran, and a friend of ours who's a stylist and creative director, Christopher Brown, we came together and we thought we would do it together, and we would use our influences, our inspiration, our ideas, our opinions to create a staple men's luxury collection of menswear. And then on the back of that, realizing that we would launch in summer, I spend most of my free time either at Costa de Caparica, just outside of Lisbon, or in Ibiza on the beach, or somewhere sunny, because it's a nice way to relax and to be so detached from what I do for a living. I thought, well, why don't we create what would be something that would package the summer experience? So we created a tote bag, we created a beautiful towel, which is also made in Portugal, and we ended up with a collection of 12 pieces, which really feels like the summer essentials and also the staple non-seasonal essentials of a man's wardrobe, like t-shirts, vests, underwear, and then you have the swimwear and all the rest.
It's also very sustainable, right?
It's very sustainable, yes. So the
swimwear,
the swimwear is made out of Econyle, which is is recycled nylon, and then Seacool, which is the recycling of marine plastics, which is great because there's way too much of it. The t-shirts and the underwear, which is obviously needs to be very hypoallergenic as it's very close to the skin and durable and keeps its shape, is made out of a product called lyocell. And lyocell is sustainably sourced wood fiber, and then we mixed it with organic cotton to create what feels and lasts and has this beautiful texture of very fine cotton, but it has new assets, which is sort of hypoallergenic, it's durable, it's breathable, it keeps its shape, keeps its color. It's perfect for a t-shirt and for underwear and for a vest.
Quality over quantity.
Oh yes, and our minimum orders are very small. We support a local business, family-run business up in Porto, and we've had a wonderful experience with them, and we hope it goes on for a very long time. And but yeah, we kept our minimum quantities. We kept them small. It's just, you know, we will build as we grow, and I think that's the mantra of creating a business. You know, it's about listening to your customer, listening to your consumer, and then working out what people like.
Yeah. And listening to the world today as well.
Listening to the world today, yeah. We want to create things that people want, not what people don't want. And by creating small quantities, we can read our consumers. We can listen to our readers, our consumers, our customers, and they tell us what they think. And the reviews have been great.
Yeah, and particularly having collections that like last throughout a lifetime, instead of like thinking what's the trend now. There's no trend, they're always trending because it's classical, it's
exactly.
It's staple.
Classic staple pieces don't go out of fashion. Yeah. The sustainable aspect of that is not just about what the product is made of, but how long the product will last. Yeah. I wear clothes that are a decade old. Yeah. I wear suits over and over again. I have favorite shoes. You know, I also look after my clothes, but I'm aware that what I buy, if you look after it, and you want a sustainability is about how long something can last, as well as how good it looks on the first day. If it looks good in 6 months' time, then that's part of sustainability, as well as supporting local businesses, as well as thinking about considering what you wear and how much you wear it, and you know, all those kind of things. So there's a lot to the idea of being in a fashion business right now, and we wanted to reflect and set an example for, for consumers of our products, that they're buying something that has been considered and we've been sensitive to how we make it and what we make it from.
Last time we spoke, we did an interview for GQ, and you told us that because it's very strange to see an actor doing a fashion brand. You told us about your mother being a seamstress. Can I ask you to?
Yeah, it's funny because people go, "You're an actor. Why would you be in fashion?" I'm thinking, well, firstly, my mother made most of my clothes when I was a kid. She has a sewing machine that has been on our kitchen table my whole life. Sometimes it goes away. Most of the time it's out, and she's fixing the curtains, making a dress, making me a t-shirt, making me some shorts, fixing my trousers, fixing my shirts, taking things in, making them bigger. She showed me from a very early age how to thread a sewing machine and how to interlock and how to stitch and how to sew and how to understand how something should fit on a man, on a woman. So I had an idea, a very strong idea of how the practical side of making clothes worked. So when it came to actually wearing other people's clothes, other designers' clothes, which as an actor I've done for 20 years in the movie business, I'm very aware of how a tuxedo looks, and I know where I'd like it taken in on me. I know how a pleat works on a trouser. I know how the cut of a t-shirt is about the size of the shoulder panels. I know there's certain things I have an opinion on, which is not just me being scripted. I know because my mum did all this. And so I have a passion for it. I have a creative flair for it. I really enjoy creating something, and to see it on somebody else and know that we've created that is a really exciting thing.
And we were just talking before the interview off the record that you're now working, now that the brand is finally out, which is a lot of work until the brand is finally
huge
out.
18 months of work before we even opened the doors to the brand.
And now that the brand is out, you guys are working even more. Is it exhilarating to see it grow and
Yes.
the new collection, thinking about the new collection?
Yeah, it is exciting because you start to get feedback. And I can relate very much to that feeling because, when I did a play 6 months ago in the West End, and you rehearse for 5 weeks, and it was a comedy. So you're building every week, you're doing do the whole play every week, rehearsing it with an audience, the director, the casting director, whatever, and they've stopped laughing. And so you have no idea what they think because they've heard the joke so many times, and so you're waiting for an audience because then you can start understanding what they like and start tweaking. And it was the same with the brand. When we released the brand after 18 months of work and preparation and building an international platform for this product to be, delivered to the consumer, the day we launched online and we released our website and our social media channels started to bubble away, we started to see feedback and understand what people liked and what they resonated with, and it was fascinating. And what has happened is from all that information and the reviews and the feedback we're getting on a daily basis, we're now able to consider our second collection, what we're going to adapt, what colors people want, what kind of fit they like.
What can you tell us about
well,
that?
we were already talking about new colorways for the t-shirts because people like options, they like colors, and we have some beautiful colors coming. We're also considering autumn winter pieces as well, so that we have something to put over your t-shirts in the winter.
BDXY is focused on staples, buy now, wear forever. What would be the staple to wear in Portugal and why? One from the collection you've launched.
Well, I mean, you could throughout the main summer period of Portugal's year, the swimwear is always as an essential. But I think to get to a beach and to sit on a beach or sit by a pool, you need a tote bag. And we've designed this amazing tote bag which can carry all of those things, and your book, and your laptop, and your water, and your sunscreen, and just your sunglasses, and anything else you want to put in there. It's a huge oversized tote bag which I absolutely love, and it's brilliant for the summer. It's actually brilliant for traveling on weekends as well because it has a big zip on the top, and so we travel everywhere with it.
And Portugal is perfect for that because you can travel the whole country for a weekend.
We just did. We went to the Algarve for the weekend and we took our bag. It took all our clothes for the weekend. It was perfect. So I would say a good bag is good, and then you can fill it full of BDXY products.
I like that. I like the tip. You've mentioned before that the brand items are named after roles in cinema, your area of expertise. Would you consider a capsule with just Portuguese names in honor of your love affair with the country? And from the top of your head, tell us one name you would like name a product, and which kind of product would it be?
Well, we actually already have.
No, I love it.
Yes, we already have. So, anyone that knows me knows I love scented candles. I travel the world, and a candle always helps me create an ambiance in a hotel room or a trailer or just somebody else's house that you're renting. And so I thought I would like to create my own scent and candle range. And a week ago, we launched our candle, the Alfama. Which is inspired and influenced by summer evenings walking the cobbled streets of Alfama and the smells of the cooking and the food and the flowers and the sea and the ocean and the breeze of a summer evening in the Alfama streets. I love the vibe of that, and so we created a candle that has that is based around tobacco, leather, amber.
But no sardines.
No sardines. It's beautiful. It's a matte black jar, and it has Alfama written on the jar. Yeah, so that's our first one.
It's a nice thing that you've let the scent of sardines to the saints.
Yeah, maybe take the cooking line out. What was I saying cooking for?
No, but cooking is nice. I think
cooking is nice, but it's nothing to do with. I don't know why I said it, but it's more like
the tobacco and the smell, like the warmth
leather.
of yes, the warmth of cooking. We understood.
Wood, tobacco, leather.
Yeah. But I think that we can understand that the cooking is like the warmth,
the
like
warmth
the warmth of the streets. But I imagine, like before you were talking about eating sardines, and I immediately thought of I'm sure
we don't want people thinking it smells like cooking.
Yeah. No, but it smells wonderful.
It's beautiful.
Alfama is
it's very atmospheric, and it sort of is all encompassing. The smell, it really takes you on a journey, which is sort of how you feel when you go out of an evening and walk around the streets of Alfama, and you stop in a little cafe and have a beer or a little glass of port, and you just sit and watch the world go by. There's an atmosphere which we've tried to encapsulate into a scent, and I'm really proud of it. It's my favorite thing. So that's the first Portugal-inspired brand piece with the name of Alfama.
We hope to see more. Maybe one called Pastel de Nata, for sure.
No, that would be interesting.
Going back to Portugal, wanted to ask you, I know this is hard, but what's your favorite thing about the country?
The people. I don't think I've ever been anywhere and so quickly have made friends. And that says something about the people. We've been welcomed into different groups of friends here, and we've just come back from a wedding of somebody we've only known for a year. And through this person and his partner, we have met an incredible group of people, all of which call us every day, ask us what we're doing. Do we want to go for dinner? There's some tejo being played. There's some fado in a cafe. Do you want to do this? You must meet this person. You must go to this restaurant. Have you been to this place? Our lives are full, and it's because of the people we've met. And I think that says a lot about the country. People make a country. And the welcoming nature of the Portuguese people that we've met is extraordinary. Yeah.
A harder question. What's your least favorite thing about the country?
Going home. Going to the airport and having to say goodbye. Because when we're here, we settle into a way of life that is very different to my life in London. It's just wonderful. I ride a motorbike everywhere. I don't do that anywhere else in the world. But here, it's just super fun to just ride the streets and stop and have a coffee and it's the hardest thing to pack up the house and say goodbye again. But it makes me want to come back every time. So there's a silver lining.
you are dividing your time between Lisbon, London, and other places, right? It's like you're living in Lisbon, but I mean you're living elsewhere as well.
We have homes in other places, yes, and we have little lives in different places. And when I'm not working and traveling, we try to enjoy the places as much as we can.
I mean, we can already tell that you know Portugal pretty well, at least Lisbon and other parts of Portugal. So I want to ask you for a fave spot to spend the day in.
I mean, it depends. If you're a beach person, I would say you should go down to Costa de Caparica and go to Princesa and sit on the beach, have beautiful food, and then go dip your foot or have a swim in the fresh Atlantic Ocean.
I like the fresh part.
I have to say,
it's a great synonym for cold.
Yes, it's fresher in Caparica than it is in the Algarve. It's a little warmer down there. And then if you're a city person and you want culture, I would say put on a good pair of shoes, leave your hotel, and just walk. Walk. And if you don't want to get lost, just follow the water all the way down to Belém and stop and have the odd refreshment. Look at the architecture, learn about the monasteries, the Geronimos, the nuns, the Pastel de Belém, this incredible sculpture down there, which is 4 times the size of human size. The architecture is just incredible, and you can eat 35 times if you wanted to, all the way there. There is food and restaurants the whole stretch, and you can take a scooter. It's very safe. They have these roads. It's just a joy. You can do so many things. And then take one of the hills, climb to the top, and look over the view of Lisbon. It's a user-friendly city, and I think and there are museums and history about the porcelain, art on the walls and the buildings that are covered in these incredible tiles and the story behind that. And we're just about to have the Sardine Festival here in 2 weeks. They know how to live. The people in Lisbon, they know how to party.
Yeah, you have to start using we know how to.
We know how to party, exactly. Yes, I'm an honorary Lisbon.
Or alternatively, you can book Luke Evans for a day as your tourist guide, and you can
Easily.
do that through GQ for a small fee for us. Because obviously you know your city. Besides the people, what's one thing Portugal has that most other places fail to have? Even though you've mentioned a lot.
Well, they don't have these old little trams. I tell you, that's a very unique thing, which always warms my heart every time I see these little trams, which seem to feel like they're from another century. They probably are from another century, but they're still practical and they still roll around the little streets, taking corners you think they could never take. And you think, how is that going to get... Oh, here we go. It does that. It has a charm. And also what I find interesting about Lisbon as a city is some European hot, warm countries, they get to the cold period and everything
dies down.
But I didn't feel that here. I feel like it has something to offer throughout the winter season as well. Of course, you don't sit outside as much, but you do get winter sun. Like in London, you say goodbye to the sun in October and you don't see it again. They haven't even seen, it's June and they're still struggling to say hello to the sun. Whereas here you don't have that. You can walk the city, which I think is very, very special. You don't need a car. You can walk, which I think is, for me, is one of the best things of all.
And motorbike is actually quite a smart idea because the streets are really, really narrow. So even if you do have you don't need a car, and even if you have it, it's not like...
And it's easier to park.
Yeah,
you can park almost
for
anywhere.
A Portuguese word or expression use love, something you say. I can tell just from this interview that you already know a lot of Portuguese words. Okay, are you going to say it?
No, I'm not going to say it. This is Vogue. We don't swear.
Yeah, please do.
What? For the set?
Yeah, you've learned it.
How could I forget? The last time I said that on social media, I had lots of Portuguese people laughing.
Okay, besides for this, which is your favorite word? Pastel de nata is always...
Pastel de nata. Useless in the background, not even helping me here.
What about it's about food most of the
No,
time.
it's about yes, about food. It's about food. All we talk about is food.
Polvo.
Oh, we drove through a place yesterday called Alfandango.
Alfandango.
Alfadango?
Alfanga, maybe?
Alfandango?
You say in Algarve.
In Algarve. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know, but okay.
Well, it's a small place, but brilliant name. No, my Portuguese isn't brilliant, but it will get better.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll ask if I ask for 5 words you already know how to say in Portuguese. Would it all be food?
Yes.
No, you know, por favor, obrigado.
Oh yeah. please do
Yes,
say
but
it.
they're obvious, aren't they? They're obvious. Por favor, obrigado, pastel de nata, pastel de bacalhau,
You know a lot. You know a lot. I've heard you say fado as well and
fado,
tejo.
tejo, which I know because it's music, which I'm obviously
Yeah.
very, very passionate about. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to watch a band, a tejo band, Wednesday evening on a boat.
Yeah.
Very excited about
Perfect.
it. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you to finish this sentence. You know you're becoming Portuguese when?
The first thing you think about in the morning is a pastel de nata. I'm sure Portuguese people don't even think about pastel de nata.
No, we do. We do.
You do? Good.
Yeah.
Because or I think maybe it's, I think people here, they work to live. They don't live to work.
Yeah.
I feel that people's lives are full of socializing and trips to beaches and going to restaurants and being with each other. Obviously, you have to work, but
Yeah.
I think they work to live. They don't live to work.
Yeah.
I feel that a lot. Everybody's so happy and socializing in the evenings and the weekends. The beaches are full of families. The restaurants are full of, families. And I think it feels like they've got the right balance here.
Yeah. I think that the weather, really, it makes you really prone to it.
Absolutely.
Because you know that you can't waste your time in an office if the sun is shining and the temperature is like this, and so you want to, and we have more hours to enjoy than other countries, because when we leave at 5 or at 6 or at 7, they're still so warm, so you just want to go outside. So we're lucky for
You are very, very lucky. Yeah.
yeah. You've mentioned pastel de nata. Well, I've mentioned pastel de nata a couple of times. You've played along with pastel de nata, and I want to ask you that we can see that you're already a true Portuguese. But what kind, sweet or savory? So would you rather go for a coffee and pastel de nata in the morning, or you're much more of a grilled fish and something like bitoque at like the meat, the grilled meat at lunchtime? Are you more sweet or more savory?
Well, I would say for breakfast, I don't have breakfast. I'm not a big breakfast fan. Just a coffee, 2 or 3 coffees, maybe a pastel de nata, maybe, but not every morning because they're very sweet. For lunch, of course, the fish in this country is extraordinary. The sardines are amazing. It's the simplicity of how they're cooked is what makes them so tasty. They're grilled, they're slightly, the skin is slightly crisp and slightly charcoaled, and the vegetables, and it's just very simple. It's very healthy. I mean, I actually never put weight on this when I'm in this country, even with all the pastel de nata.
Yeah, because you walk around every day to everywhere, and you go up the hill and down the hill, so you're constantly
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
Just a couple of more questions. A fave neighborhood for shopping?
For shopping, Chiado probably.
Yeah.
And my last question is for your autumn-winter collection for BDXY. Let's do the launch in Portugal, maybe.
I would love that. Why not?
Let's book that with Vogue.
We just need to make sure the sun goes in.
Oh yeah, but we have sun. You should go. You should come in November. There's this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
You already know.
I already know.
He's
Yeah.
a true Portuguese. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.